Hi everyone, I'm Bastian. I'm an Asana certified pro, and today I want to talk to you about the way I'm managing the leads I have, then the clients I have, and how I'm managing the upselling of those clients. So as you can see on the screen, this is just a fake My Task view. So let's say that I have a lead. For example, I'm working with Tesla, or I hope to work with Tesla. So what I usually do is I create one task per lead, and then I add the lead task inside a project. In my case, it's called prospect, and I have this little emoji. It's a suitcase, just to explain that it's a lead for my consulting work. I also have leads for other businesses I have. So I'm adding this prospect to the project, and that gives me a couple of custom fields. For example, I have the hourly rate I gave the client. I have the contact preferences of the client, the time zone is in, the payment preferences he might have, the name of the Asana organization they have. I also have the status of the prospect. So a couple of things here. I'm using emojis a lot because I think it's very interesting and very fun to use. So for the status, I have contacted, first reminder, second reminder, third reminder, and fourth reminder. Most of my leads come from my website, and whenever someone contacts me on my website, it creates an Asana task in my own organization. So usually my first two reminders are comments on that Asana task with the client with the lead as a follower, and then the third and fourth reminder are actually by email. And then I have the status active discussion. Whenever we are in the middle of a discussion, I have on hold and I have lost or refused. So let's say I've discussed with the lead, and after the second reminder, actually the discussion was successful and the client is ready to work. So what I do is two things. The first thing is I'm changing the project, so I'm moving the client to the client project. So again, I have the little suitcase for this consulting business I have. I'm removing the client from the prospect project. So most of the custom fields are actually shared between the two projects. The only difference is I have a client status now. So different statuses, a couple of old statuses I need to remove, but the most important one are won and ongoing, which means I'm still working with them. I have won and finished, which means I don't work with them. That's the two most important things. So it's won and ongoing. Then what I'm doing is I'm creating a new project based on a template. So I'm creating an entirely new project for that client. I'm going to put that inside a fake team I have, team 1. That gives me an empty project that I'm ready to work with. The first step I usually do is to add the task, the Tesla task inside the Tesla project. So I have that Tesla task and I'm adding it to the Tesla project. Okay. So now it looks like this. I always put the client at the top. Then I have a section about all the sessions we have, the work sessions we have. I have a list of topics I want to discuss next time with the client, a couple of administrative tasks, and I have the billing section where I have one entry per invoice. That's the interesting part. The last thing I wanted to discuss about is the upselling, because I have actually 3 different businesses. I have the consulting business, I have the custom dashboard business, and I also have a team of assistants that the client can use directly inside Asana. And whenever I have a client from one of those businesses, I always try to push the other services to the client. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the client task and I'm adding this task to the upsell project. So I use this little sushi emoji. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I just thought it was fun. And whenever I do that, it gives me 3 new custom fields. So those are my 3 businesses: assistant, consulting, and dashboard. If the client was first a consulting client, what I do is I choose the entry value, which means the entry of the client was from the consulting business, and then I have to push for the other services. I have a couple of different status as well. For example, I sold them the other service. I pushed them. We are actually discussing them. I need to push this service, and the last one is it's just lost, and the client will not buy anything. And whenever I have this, because the custom fields are inside my organization library, I'm able to use the advanced search to find all the clients I need to push assistant business to, for example. So I can do like an email campaign or something. So I think it's I've used this system for a while. I think it works great. It especially looks good after a while when you have a couple of sessions and a couple of billing, a couple of invoices you sent, because everything is inside the same location, and I think it makes it very easy to work with. So if you have any other tips or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment below and send me any feedback you have. Bye.